Okay, so I have worked on the last section of this project, and that is activity design for the online math game activity. And the standards that I have chosen to focus on in this activity are to estimate lengths using units of inches, feet, centimeters, and meters, and to measure the length of an object by selecting and using appropriate tools such as rulers, yardsticks, meter sticks, and measuring tapes. And so since we are a younger grade, I have tried to keep a lot of this like activity based and up and moving, changing direction. So you'll see a lot of that in the activities to follow. Since it is an online math game, some of the materials that will be needed is, of course, access to the internet. And I have outlined in my project that can be done in multiple different ways depending on what's available. For example, if it's one-to-one, then that's easy. Each student can do this at their desk, or whatever is available, you can make the necessary changes. If there's none available or they're not charged, you can use the smartboard and everybody interact with the teacher and vote maybe with a 1 or 2 on the options. And then after that, for the following activities, they will need measuring tools like a ruler or a yardstick, and they need to have the metric system on there as well since we're studying those. So I have started with the hook, and that is where I felt it was most appropriate to put our math games, because they focus on really the standard about estimation. And so you'll see questions in both of those math games. You'll see questions like, which unit of length is the most appropriate, and then it'll ask how many, like, is this pencil 6 inches or 6 yards long, and you have to estimate and work on your skills there. And then so after the hook, we move into a gradual release kind of activity base. I did the I do, we do, you do. So they increasingly get more responsibilities and more content that they have to work on. However, I thought that the games were important to put in the hook because throughout the rest of it, we maintain a strong emphasis on the basis of using estimation, and then not only just estimating, but accurately estimating the lengths and how to use the different units of measurement and which tools to use to measure. And so I'll go ahead and move on to the following activities. After the games are introduced and played with, they will get to practice with both the metric and the customary units. And then the teachers can ask probing questions like, can you show me how long in inches, just to get their brains, keep moving in that same direction. And then we'll move on to the I do, where the teacher really models the activities here. So she could say, I think that this pencil is 6 inches long. And then she would go and show the students how to measure and make sure to see if it is an accurate estimation or not. I also mentioned in here that it might be good for teachers to do like non-examples. So she could say like, I estimate that this pencil is 6 yards long, to see if the students will correct her and see if their brains are really thinking right. If not, they might need to do a little bit more review on the units and estimation. But they should be ready for this step once they have done the hook and really practice with it. After the teacher models what to do, the students will get to get up and move around. So they'll be in small groups for the we do, and what they'll do is they will get to, it's a fun activity. I thought that, so one student will lay on the ground, and then the rest of the class the rest of the group will measure how tall they are. And not only that, but they will have to estimate beforehand. So we'll reiterate that from the hook in the game. And then they will have to decide on which measurement tool to use. And then they will have to measure and relate back to see if their estimation is correct. So they'll practice this with a bunch of students. And I also mentioned in here that you might add a little bit more challenge and see if each of the students can use a different unit. So really challenge them and say, how tall is student X in centimeters, and see if they can figure that out. And then the next step is the you do. This is the final step, and it is when students will individually, they will find a station, so the teacher will have to set up a few different items at a station, say a book or something or a folder, and they will do the same process, estimate, choose a measurement tool, and then they will write down how, like, an actual length, and then rotate back and see if it's all right. They'll get 2 minutes at each station, and they will just practice these skills again. And I have, so all of these are a little bit different, but they still all rotate back to the main concept, and that is estimation and using the proper tools and units of measurement. And I think that really the math games kind of lay the foundation, and they continue to work on this throughout. So that's why I have chosen them. So thank you.